You can spend $300 building a raised bed and still grow the saddest looking tomatoes in the neighborhood. Yeah, I've done that. Or you can avoid the 5 mistakes many gardeners make their first year and have a tomato harvest worth bragging about. Hi, welcome back to Almost 2 Acres. I'm Carol, and today we're talking about raised bed mistakes, especially those that matter in Zone 4 and other colder climates. Raised beds are one of the best things you can do in a cold climate. They warm up faster in spring, they drain better, and you can control your soil. But building the bed is the easy part. It's what you put in it, where you put it, and how you manage it that makes or breaks your harvest. Mistake number 1, skimping on soil depth.
This one's expensive to fix after the fact. Many gardeners seem to build raised beds that are 6 inches deep. 6 inches. That might work for radishes and lettuce, but your tomatoes, peppers, and root crops, their roots want to go down 12 inches or more. In Zone 4, we're already fighting a short season. If your plants are stressed because they're growing in what's basically a shallow pan of soil, they're not going to produce, period. Here's my rule: 12 inches minimum for vegetables. If you're growing root crops like carrots or parsnips, go 14 to 16. And if you're building on top of decent native soil, that counts. But if you're plopping a raised bed on top of hardpan or gravel, the bed itself needs to be deeper. Remember, a raised bed is an investment. Do it right once and it'll feed you for a decade.
Number 2, using the wrong fill material.
Filling a raised bed is not the same as filling a pot. You don't need to fill the whole thing with expensive bagged soil. Here's a cost-effective solution. This is basically hugelkultur, which is just a fancy word for berry logs and branches at the bottom. For beds that are less than 24 inches deep, I fill the bottom third with sticks, leaves, and even cardboard, but I don't add logs because you need a little deeper soil for that. Next is a layer of compost or aged manure. Then the top third is my actual growing mix: compost, topsoil, a little peat or cocoa coir. This does 2 things. 1, it saves you a fortune. Bagged soil to fill a 4x8 bed that's 18 inches deep? That's easily $150. 2, those branches break down over years and feed your soil from the bottom up. That's permaculture thinking. Work with nature, not against it. Here's another reason to not fill your bed with just potting mix. It's too light, it dries out too fast, and your plants will flop over because there's nothing for roots to anchor in. And please, no fresh manure. I talked about this in my garlic video too, which I'll link above. Fresh manure burns plants and introduces weed seeds. Always use well-composted, aged materials.
Number 3, placing the bed in the wrong spot.
Garlic needs full sun. Tomatoes need full sun. Peppers need full sun. I think the theme here is full sun. You know what doesn't care? Lettuce and spinach. But most people aren't building raised beds just for lettuce. In Zone 4, we get maybe 120 frost-free days if we're lucky. Every hour of sun matters. Before you build, go watch your yard at 9 a.m., noon, and 3 p.m. You want at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sun on that bed. If you've got a spot that gets morning sun but afternoon shade, that's great for brassicas and greens, but your heat-loving crops will struggle. Here's a Zone 4 and colder tip. If you can, place your beds where they'll catch morning sun and be protected from cold northwest winds. A windbreak on the north side, even a fence or a row of tall perennials, can buy you a couple extra degrees of warmth in early spring and late fall. That's the difference between harvesting in October and losing everything to frost in September. Hey, please give this video a thumbs up now. It actually helps the channel a lot, and it tells YouTube to share it with other cold climate gardeners like us. There's also a link in the description for the raised bed that I really like in my own garden.
Number 4, over or underwatering.
I know, everyone says water deeply and less often. But what does that actually mean for a raised bed? Raised beds drain faster than in-ground gardens. That's a feature, not a bug, but it means you can't set it and forget it. In July, during a hot stretch, a raised bed can dry out in a day. In May, when it's cool and rainy, you might not need to water for a week. My rule of thumb, old school, but it works. Stick your finger in the soil up to your second knuckle. If it feels dry, water. If it feels moist, walk away. Now, doesn't that sound just like Grandma? Don't guess. Don't water on a schedule. Water the soil, not the leaves, and do it in the morning so the surface dries during the day. That cuts down on disease. And you cold climate gardeners, mulch. 3 inches of straw or shredded leaves on top of your soil locks in moisture and keeps soil temperatures stable. Remember how Grandpa always had a mulch pile? There's a reason.
Number 5, planting too close together.
This is the one I obviously still struggle with. You look at that empty raised bed in May and it feels huge. So you cram in 8 tomato plants and 6 pepper plants and a row of basil. And then July happens and it's a jungle. Where is Tarzan anyway? Plants are competing for light, water, and nutrients. Airflow is 0, and the first hint of blight takes out your whole bed. Here's what I've learned. Follow the spacing on the seed packet and then add 20%. Because in zone 4, we need our plants to grow fast and strong, and they can't do that if they're fighting each other for the resources. A 4x8 bed fits 4 indeterminate tomatoes with proper spacing, or 6 bush tomatoes, or 2 rows of bush beans. That's it. Resist the urge to squeeze in more. Your harvest will be better from 4 healthy plants than from 8 stressed ones. I promise.
Get these 5 things right with your dirty gardening fingers, and you'll be ahead of other first-year gardeners. Heck, you may be ahead of some 30-year gardeners. Thanks for joining Almost 2 Acres today. Let's get growing. I'll be doing that in Zone 4.